Yo, welcome back. We're about to get into part two. Actually, this is part three. Noel from the New York City Breakers. Man, the first crew to bring power moves around the world. The first crew. So much history being dropped. Hope you guys enjoy this. What's up, V Rock? I see you. I'm glad you're watching, though. This is some real history. Mr. Jack, how you doing, bro?
Okay, I'm back.
All right.
This is this is becoming a weekly thing now. Yeah. Hey, I mean, what what more can you other than Crazy Legs and a few other guys get the history of breaking and original and how it started, how we got started, the guys involved. Can't get any better than this, man. You
You
know what
you
I'm saying?
can't though, bro. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like, I don't care what anybody's doing. Anybody that loves breaking, anybody that wants to see breaking go to the Olympics, they should be watching this interview.
Absolutely. You know, again,
Yeah,
if it wasn't, for all you guys, recognizing and getting involved with dancing, I mean, that just boosted us even higher. You know what I'm saying? Like that just made
especially for us
it,
too. To be honest, when you guys came
yeah,
out, you guys did something to the West Coast that got everybody excited though, bro.
yeah. I mean, we brought our culture out. We brought it to the world. We gave it to you guys so you guys can, carry it on.
Mhm.
LA was always behind us. You know what I'm saying? Like they're right there. They got certain things that they were first. I'm gonna say yes. The popping was insane, but when we went out there with the breaking, that's a whole lot different. You know,
Right.
right? Because in New York it was called Electric Boogie. You know what I'm saying? And you guys were popping and ticking, and
Mhm.
it was awesome. We went out there, man, to California. I think it was like our first or second time. Well, we've been out to California, and it
Mhm.
took our second or third time for people to recognize us, and
Okay.
the poppers, like they took, bro, they open arms, man. They just wanted to hang out with us. You know what I'm saying? And the rappers, Ice T. I mentioned the story about me and Ice
Can
T and racing the
you
kids.
share that? Can you share that?
Oh, absolutely. So we were out there in California doing a private show, right? And so somebody had mentioned that there was a club called Radiotron.
Which is
So we
right
was
down
like,
the
yo,
street.
absolutely. So we decided, hey, yo, let's go hang out. Let's go to the Radiotron. You know what I'm saying? So we went out there, and it was funny because there was a popper, Loose Bruce, the
Yeah.
white kid.
No, Loose Bruce was black.
Oh no, that's right. There was another one, Bruce. His name was Bruce, regular Bruce. That's right. You're
Okay.
right, Loose Bruce. Bruce, the other Bruce, he was a white kid.
Okay.
So he was hanging out there in California, and he was from Manhattan, and because he was trying to learn popping from you guys
Mm.
from California. So the funny thing was, we decided, yo, let's go check out the Radiotron. You know what I'm saying? Somebody had mentioned this, said, let's go. So we went out to the Radiotron, and we formed the circle, and we went off, bro. We went off at the Radiotron, bro. Fucking everybody went nuts. And that's where Little Caesar saw us.
Oh. Oh.
Yes. So Ice-T was there because he was a regular rapper at the Radiotron.
Mhm.
Right? So after the night was kind of over, he was like, yo, I know where there's another club. We could just go and hang out. So I was like, yeah, okay. So he was like, yo, Kid Nice, man, you ride with me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody fellas got to ride in a van to the next club. I had a freaking Ice-T had a red Porsche. It was funny as hell, bro. Says, yo, Kid Nice, come on, you come with me, bro. And we was on like L.A. Boulevard. Oh, I forgot what it was. L.A. Was it L.A. Boulevard?
Hollywood
Hollywood
Boulevard.
Boulevard. Right. So, see, the Mexican kids pulled up with like a little Datsun 510 Insane, bro. And they were like, yeah, yo, you ready? You want to race? And they were like, yeah. They knew who he was. They knew Ice-T. Because he was just a regular guy. He was a rapper. He wasn't famous yet.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't really that famous yet.
Yeah.
So, here we are tearing it down. Hollywood Boulevard, bro. Going to like $150 in his Porsche. Racing some kids and shit, and it's funny as hell, bro. So we made it to the next club, and we was hanging out. We went off in the next club, and more people got to see us out there in L.A. And you know, it was funny because Ice-T, who was it? It was a few of them. Pop and Taco.
Yeah. Yeah. Boogaloo Shrimp and Shabadoo.
No, it wasn't. They weren't there.
Okay.
So it was Pop and Taco, Ice-T. There was two brothers. Oh my God, they were really good because Mr. Freeze used to hang out with them too. Oh my God, I can't believe I don't remember their name. But they all, bro, open arms. Like you hang out with us. I remember it was funny because they were, bro, like, you know, we were their idols. You know, we're from New York. I remember taking off my New York. I had a New York Mets jacket and giving it to them, giving it to one of them, the older brother. Oh, as a matter of fact, it was the brothers who did the breaking in Mel's Diner. What was their name? You ever see that?
Oh, okay. I know what you're saying. Pop and Pete?
No, not Pop and Pete.
Okay.
We met Pop and Pete.
I want to say something real quick. Vix, the Radiotron, it was in Los Angeles, not the Bay. The Bay is more up north. Radiotron is Los Angeles, California.
That's correct.
I'm 2 blocks away from Radiotron right now. The original building.
The original building. It was awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were there. Yo, we went off, bro. Sugar Pop. That's it. It was Sugar Pop and his brother. Somebody just said it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yo, they were insane, bro. They were insane. They were teaching us shit. You know what I'm saying? We taught them some windmills and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember you were mentioning in our last interview that I think you was a part of a gang called the Savage Nomads.
The Savage Skulls.
Savage Skulls.
Yeah.
This is before breaking?
Yeah. I used to hang out with them. I wasn't in the gang because they were all older guys. They were older than I was. Okay. Then they made up the Baby Skulls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So during that time in New York, it was rough though, right, bro? In the Bronx?
Absolutely. Oh my God, it was rough, bro. It was rough. It was rough. At that time, that was like 71, 72, 73, somewhere around there.
So every corner there was like a gang though, right?
Well, the Savage Skulls, their territory was like 170th in the Bronx. It was like from I'm gonna say Grand Concourse to like University Avenue. So they had that whole little section, or to 161st Yankee Stadium. And then the Savage Nomads, they were together, so they kind of, you know, the Savage Skulls and the Savage Nomads were kind of together, you know.
And
they
the
were
Ghetto
allies to each other.
Oh, okay. So was the Ghetto Brothers, was that the biggest gang in the Bronx?
The Ghetto Brothers was one of the biggest Afro-American gangs in the Bronx.
The Ghetto Brothers. Okay, they was brothers though. Okay.
Yeah, they were all brothers. That's why they were called the Ghetto Brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So they were in the Bronx too. They were on the other side of the Grand Concourse, mainly, you know, 3rd Avenue that way. You know. Yep.
Was any of those guys during that time, like, breaking was not even really being introduced yet, right? It was still kind of early.
Oh yeah, it was early.
It was
It was really early at
still
the
early,
time.
huh?
It wasn't introduced yet, not yet.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say, I believe it or not, I'm gonna say breaking was out in '73.
73. Okay.
Yeah, because I did see, if I'm not mistaken, I was going to school one day and I saw a few of the guys breaking, some Latino kids and some of the Ghetto Brothers breaking
Oh, really?
on a corner. They must have been battling, but
Yeah.
and they were all doing
Yeah.
footwork on the concrete.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty amazing, though. Like, with no music, or they have music?
No music. Back
Wow.
then, shit, if I saw Crazy Legs, bro, we'd get a box or no music. We're battling, bro. We'll go move for move.
Hmm.
That's how we did it back in the old days. If you saw somebody walking down the street and you were like, oh shit, yo, there's Ken Swift, or there's Crazy Legs, or there's this guy, yo, we gonna battle on the concrete. That's the original way that it all started. We all used to battle on the concrete.
That was for me, too. It was the same way. When I got in seventh grade, my first battle was on concrete. It was at a handball court.
Yep.
It was on a handball court. A smooth part of the handball court.
Yep. Yep. Oh no, bro, we got down wherever we were all hanging out on the corner, sipping on some malt duck or old English. We got down
Mm.
on that corner right there, right then and then.
Mm.
Yeah, that's how it was back in
That's
the old
crazy,
days.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, pretty amazing, though.
Yeah, that's how
So B
it
girl,
was. Huh?
yeah. So what was there any really like B girls that were kind of decent? Because I mean, last time we mentioned Headspin,
Okay.
we mentioned Headspin Janet.
Okay. Headspin Jenny. There was well, of course, Baby Love was out there.
Okay.
And then there was Nana, she was my girlfriend at the time.
What about Shot Rock? Shot Rock says she's original B girl.
I never seen her breaking.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I seen her. I mean, rapping, of course, but
Yeah, she said she was a B girl before she got into rapping first.
well, the B girl could mean where it wasn't just breaking. A
Hmm.
B boy could be B boy was like a hard ass. That's what it was. Anyone who dressed up nice was a B boy.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, like a stick-up kid was a B-boy.
Okay.
Yep, that's what, that was the
Okay.
terminology back then.
So so what I'm hearing though, like I did the research on YouTube, with this
Oh,
one
right, and
brother.
wait. Kim Kazi. That's right, the Dynamic Dolls were B-girls.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So for my researching though, I heard this brother say he said that they were the first B boys, but he said breaking and the culture itself, like it came out of the Bronxdale Project.
No. Well,
That's what he said, and that's where the term B boy came from. Bronxdale B boy.
well, again, I mean, if you listen to it, Bronx jail, which it wasn't that far from where I live, but
Okay.
there, anybody those are called B-boys.
But he said that's where the term itself originally came from. It came out of the people out of the Bronxdale Project.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. I mean,
That's what he was saying, though. I can't correct him. I'm listening to him. He's saying that he's one of the first B-boys with Trixie and everybody else, but he said it came out of Bronxdale.
no, B-boy, okay, there's a difference between B-boy and B-boying.
Right. Right.
B-boying is we were B-boy, we were B-boy, we were breakers. And
That's
then,
what he's talking about.
right. And then there was, of course, the B-boys who were non-breakers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They were
Hmm.
stick-up kids.
Right.
They will wear the Lee jeans, the Kango hats, the Lee jackets or the leather bombers, the sheepskins, shit like that
Hmm.
back in the day. they were b-boys also, because we hung out with a lot of b-boys who you know, they were non-breakers.
Okay.
You know, I mean,
Mm.
there's a lot of pictures floating around of b-boys and stick-up kids. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
seen
saying, on YouTube?
it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I seen
So,
them. Yeah, I seen them.
you know, so like gangbanging in LA, you know, there's gangsters and, you know, gangbangers, right? It's all, you know.
Yeah, because some people said like they're gangster. It's the term sounds nice, but then you have the gang banging, which you have the dudes that go out and put in the work. Those are the dudes that's actually doing the work, and then you have the people like, yeah, I'm gangster, but they're not. But they're not actually afflicting,
Right.
pain on nobody. Though it's just a term like, yeah, I'm gangster, but then you got the gang bangers.
Exactly. The same thing as New York, because that's we had our way, you guys had your way.
Hmm.
So, I mean, you know, we had the B-boys, you know, that will break, and then you had your B-boys who just hung out and watched the
Oh, okay.
breakers. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I mean, we were all considered B-boys, everybody.
Right,
Everybody who was kind of a gangster back in the day, um, you know, um, was a B-boy.
right. So what was it like too? Okay, so you're living in the Bronx and you start noticing media starts showing up, which is like people showing up with cameras and stuff though, and they're documenting the rappers and they're taking pictures of the graffiti though. What did you guys think about that? When you start
Um,
noticing the media start showing up.
okay. I gotta say one thing to the rapping, the
Hmm.
DJing, the breaking, and the graffiti, because I am gonna say this, okay? It all got popular at the same time,
Mm.
okay? It just one didn't, you know, one pushed another one, because Run DMC, okay? If I'm not mistaken, Run DMC was on our show, Graffiti
Yeah.
Rock. Okay, they
And
got
they
really
said that they were
popular.
B-boys.
That's right. See what I'm saying? Now they got really popular after that, didn't they? Because
Yeah.
they only had two records when they were on Graffiti Rock,
Hmm.
either two or maybe one. They had that when they came out, they had that record 2 years ago. A friend of mine asked me to say some MC rhymes. That record, Sucker
Said this rhyme
MCs,
I'm about to say. The rhyme was
and
deaf
then
and
it
then it went this
went this
way.
way. Yeah,
Took a test to
an
become an
MC.
MC.
Right. That's it. So that was their record.
Yeah.
That's all they had. Russell
Mm.
Simmons, of course, they got really popular because of the brother Russell Simmons, but and like we got popular because Michael Holman was our manager.
Did you ever see Curtis Blow break back in the day? Because he said he was first generation B-boy.
It's funny because he he was breaking in front of us, but you know he only did a little bit of legwork. He was nothing
Yeah.
like you know. Actually, Curtis Blow lived in my neighborhood on University Avenue.
Oh, really?
That's correct.
Okay.
Then he moved out to LA, but he got really popular in New York and from the Bronx, from the Boogie Down Bronx.
Oh. Oh.
You know? And then he
Yeah.
went out there to LA. He's a very good friend of ours.
Yeah.
He's a very good
He
friend
was
of
always
ours.
he was always giving you guys love though. Like back in the '90s though, when you guys did the show. I think it was in Germany where Caesar was there though too.
Yeah. Dude, when we went out to California, okay,
Hmm.
and Curtis Blow saw us, yo, bro, he felt at home, bro, when he saw us.
Mm.
You know, to having guys from the Bronx, bro, it was like, you know, he loved us, man.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Curtis Blow
Yeah.
loved us. Yeah,
That's amazing though. And then also too, where you guys were the first crew to get sponsored by a shoe deal.
that's correct. We got sponsored by three shoe companies. We had
Three shoe
Puma,
company.
we had Adidas, and we had the Reebok.
And how often would they send you guys shoes?
Shit, they would send us boxes all the time. You know, but we would tell them which shoes to send us because we
Yeah,
couldn't dance in all the shoes that they had.
right.
So, we would dance like in high top Adidas. Of course, Reebok was our last sponsor with the shoe that we agreed to them because we was rocking the Reebok Fit.
I love them shoes though. I remember one of my friends was breaking in them, and I thought to myself, those are the ones that the New York City Breakers wear.
Right. But it all started out, we had Cortez Nikes, and
I
that's
didn't see
all
you
we
guys with
used.
Cortezes. Okay.
We No, when we were like floor masters and all, we all had Cortez Nikes.
Oh, Nike Cortez.
So we had to choose, out of three shoe companies, and we chose Reebok because Reebok made the fit that the
Mm.
ones that we used to they were light. Of course, we wanted to be light. Remember, the suits and the shoes went together. It's like being a cyclist. He's practically wearing nothing. He's wearing those tight little shorts, that really tight shirt to make himself aerodynamic, and those shoes, the clip-on light ass shoes that they would use on their bicycles. We were the same way.
Mm.
We wanted to have the lightest shoes, almost like we were, barefooted.
So, from your point of view, who would you say was the first person to invent the halo? The halos.
Icy ice.
You see, did you see him come up with the idea for it?
Absolutely.
Was that
Absolutely.
a mistake, or was that was something that he was just thinking, like, if I rotate and I keep my hands, that I can like catch?
Well, Icy Ice used to break in his mother's living room on rug so he could be faster. And he
Mm.
invented that in the rug by accident.
That's what I was going to say, on accident.
Yeah, any move that you saw that we all had was invented by accident.
Mm. Because that was a big move on the West Coast at one point in time.
Oh,
Like,
everybody was doing it.
halos was everything. Halos, like, you had to have strong upper body strength, because most of the kids that would do it that weren't strong, they could maybe get like 3 rounds and then it would just fall apart.
Okay, here's the funny thing, because it's funny because he created the halo and I created the head glide, and it was almost identical. The only thing is that before I went into the halo, I glid a little bit more on my head.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So,
Mhm.
and it's funny because when we went out to California, and I wasn't even a good breaker anymore. We were like bodybuilders. Remember the time we went to the second Radiotron?
Oh yeah.
I did that, and everybody went nuts. They thought I was doing freaking halos. All the kids, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was funny as hell because I did that and went into a head spin.
Mm.
Yeah. Yep. So
That's interesting,
I'm gonna say
though,
Icy
bro.
Ice. That he's the only one and the first one I ever saw do halos.
And then the Ninja Freeze, though, bro. Like, that was another famous.
Icy Ice.
Like, yeah, the Ninja Freeze became big in California.
We all had our own freezes. Okay, there was the bridge. I had the baby freezes. You know what I'm saying? The leg crossing.
Mhm.
The knee and on one hand, which guys are doing today, but
Mhm.
they're just spinning on it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Holding their freaking ankle or whatever.
Mhm.
You know? Yeah, we all had freezes. We had the bridge. It was called the bridge. We used to do backspin bridge. Bam. Anything that had a quick stopping motion, that would blow the crowd away.
Somebody put no. Well, did you create the windmill holding the knee?
Yes.
What made you want to grab your knee?
Everybody was doing windmills holding their balls, their hands behind their back or something like that. I says, I want to be different. Let me try holding my leg. You know?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it didn't. When I first seen you do it, it wasn't as fast as like the windmill, but it was like the way that you were thinking. I think that's what made everybody say, you know what, like, that's crazy.
That was one of the hardest moves.
Yeah.
One of the hardest moves anybody could do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people are doing it today. People are doing
Yeah.
that stuff today. They're not doing the windmill, but they're doing a lot of stuff holding their ankles
Yeah.
or their
Yeah.
knee or their leg.
Pretty much everything that you guys like started off with is done today, but it's like the kids like they don't have too much history behind it, so they don't know what they're actually doing. But all that, all the windmills, all the Supermans, all the spinning on the side, like the side
That
spinning, the
stuff
shoulders.
was done. That stuff was done back in the old days. They're just doing it better.
Yeah.
Elbow spins,
Hmm.
knee spins, all of that stuff that they're doing today was done back in the old days. But
Yeah.
remember, again, all that stuff was created on concrete. The stuff that's
Mm.
created today that they're doing, smooth surface, wood floors, linoleum, cardboard, whatever you want to call it, mostly indoor, nice floors. They're doing it today.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, the stuff that we did head spins on concrete. We had a ball spot in our afros and our hair back in the old days in the center.
The first time I met Ivan, he did head spins in the street though, bro. No beanie.
Oh, that kid was insane, bro. He was sick. That kid was insane, Ivan. He
Yeah.
went off on the concrete in front of Radiotron. They didn't want to let him in. The second Radiotron, the time we
Yeah.
were there in the 90s, I'm gonna say.
Hmm.
Kid was insane. Insane. He went off. Went off like disappeared. That's how fast he was moving.
You know who I liked though too, back in the '90s though was Incredible Josh.
Oh, he was insane, bro, Josh. Josh? Dude,
Yeah.
it's funny because the sister, when they moved to the Bronx, Incredible Josh,
Hmm.
um, he wasn't even born yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay? He was the little baby we all held when the sister had him. But we were already, floor masters. We were fucking insane back then.
Mm.
And he learned off of Chino and Brian and them.
Yeah.
It was nasty, bro. Nasty.
Yeah. He he had that foundation, bro. When he did the windmills, his legs are straight. When he did the halos, his legs are straight.
Oh, he was sick. Insane back then. That was in the
Yeah.
90s.
That was the '90s.
Yup. Jimmy's Bronx Cafe had a battle, and it was between him and another kid. This kid was insane, bro. He did some serious moves.
Oh, I know you
But
talking about.
yup. But little Josh, man, he was fast. He was insane, bro. He did those. He would do windmills, halo, halo,
Hmm.
halo, 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 windmill. 1990, come back down to a halo.
It had the good backspin too, like the proper form.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's what we all learned back in the old days. There was well, I could talk to you about so many b-boys that were with us that
I
did
know.
backspins that I don't even know where they are today.
Yeah. I know we can go on for forever and ever.
Oh, I could go on
I'm just
forever.
I'm just glad honestly that I was able to get you on, because now like I'm saving this and I just want to be able to preserve your history because I feel like the people that maybe you might have spoke to in the past though, it's like their knowledge is not as like accurate.
Yes.
Like if you speak to somebody during the interview, like what is the odds of somebody bringing up German?
Nobody knows about German.
That's what I'm saying.
Bro, you don't
So
even,
that's why
there's a lot of, bro, they don't even know about Cujo.
exactly.
Okay?
And it's crazy because there's a Cujo out here that everybody loves,
Oh,
though,
I know
bro. He's like a
Cujo. I know
yeah, but I'm
Cujo.
just saying,
With the
but I'm just
afro,
saying. See, but
the
I don't
white
even know
kid.
the Cujo that you're talking about.
You don't know him?
No, the one that
Cujo
you're
from
talking
LA?
about. No, I know him. The
Oh.
one you're talking about.
Oh, the little Cujo. He was little Alex's bro. They were those two guys were insane. Bro, they had to battle each other to see he was better.
What made Cujo so amazing?
Bro, he did flares. into head spins. Both him and Alex were identical.
Mm.
Okay?
Mhm.
Him and little Alex. And you know the UFO, the little UFO move? Cujo
Mhm.
invented that. That was his move.
Oh.
Okay? That was Cujo's move. That was his signature move.
And people still do it today, bro.
That was Cujo. And nobody talks about Cujo.
Is he alive?
I would say so. I hope so. He was young.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so, man. I wish I could get a hold of these guys.
Yeah, Fast Break, right?
Yeah, we talk.
Yeah. So Fast Break knows a lot of the stuff that happened in history and with Flex and everything like that. Him too. So I mean, Fast Break was with us for a long time, back then.
I like the fast break though. His power was amazing.
Yes, his footwork was insane. He had one of the neatest, fastest footwork.
So from what I was told though, I remember him saying that he said that he used to teach Float how to do power.
Which float? Float from Incredible Breakers?
Yes.
Probably so. Yes. Because I remember when I first saw Float, he wasn't good at all.
Mm.
You know, he
Yes.
was down with scrambling feet.
Okay.
Yeah, in the Lower East Side, Manhattan.
I
And
never even
they
heard
came.
of scrambling feet. Okay.
They came after us
Mhm.
because it was Rocksteady, Dynamic, New York City Breakers, then Scrambling Feet.
Okay.
And they had a little guy named Chino. He was good too.
Okay. You know what I want to share with you though too, and like you can tell me how you feel about this. Okay. So I'm looking at breaking, right? And then I'm a kid. I'm young, and the movie Rapping comes out. You ever remember a movie called
Yeah.
Rapping? When I seen Rapping, that was the last time that I went to the theater, and I thought that I would see a movie. I thought Rapping was going to be a continuation of D Street. I don't know why, because of what it said, Rapping.
Dude, it tarnished freaking. It tarnished Rapping.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Right. So during that era, I noticed like, because you guys had the suits, but I noticed it started getting real sweet. Like I started seeing people wearing like pink leggings. Like it kind of started looking real like kind of like fruity though. And I was wondering why did it go in that direction? And then a movie came out called The Delivery Boys. You heard of that movie?
Yeah, but you know what? Let me tell you something. Breaking. Um, when stuff like that, somebody's always trying to change something, or you know what I'm saying, or change the original clothing that we used to wear, or you
Mhm.
know what I'm saying, dude. B-boying, breaking was a part of being gangster back in the day.
Mhm.
Just like Tupac, just like Biggie, you know what I'm saying? So it represented the streets of New York, the hardness. And and we were a part of that. So was
Mhm.
graffiti, so was rapping. We all represented a tough part of ourselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The hard times we went through. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't make it in New York City, bro, you in New York City, bro, you weren't shit.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like only the strong
Mhm.
survive,
Mhm.
and that's what we represented. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The Bronx, New York. You had to be tough to live in the Bronx.
That's what people said though. The people would say like, if you were from Harlem or Brooklyn, whatever, people was like, "Oh man, don't go to the Bronx." Like people were scared of the Bronx though, bro.
Yeah, the Bronx back in the old days with the gangs and I mean, over territory like the Warriors. The movie came
Yeah.
out, The Warriors. It's funny how the Warriors came out and then Beach Street comes out afterwards.
Yeah.
because right there is telling you how shit started to transition.
I have a question though. Like,
Yeah.
I noticed that you guys weren't in the movie Style Wars or Wild Style, the documentary. How come you guys weren't in Wild Style?
Because that was Henry Chaffan and Rocksteady, Crazy Legs. They had a manager called Lady Blue.
Cool Lady Blue.
That's correct. And she was the one who was involved with that, with them, with Rocksteady,
Okay.
with Buffalo Gals. You remember Buffalo
Malcolm
Gals?
McLaurin.
Michael McLaren. Yep.
Yeah, Malcolm McLaurin.
Yes. That was Rocksteady's gig. Like, they knew them in Manhattan, and they got together and created that. And Wild
Okay.
Style, Wild Style was
Mhm.
one of the first movies, but it really wasn't big. It wasn't like
We didn't see it.
Peachtree.
We didn't see it. Yeah, it didn't hit out here.
No. So,
No.
because it was a low-budget film.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And you know what? Again, when back then we were, promoting ourselves. Well, Michael Holman was promoting us, and we wouldn't take anything low budget, which Rocksteady would.
Mm.
You get it? Because they wanted to be famous. Rocksteady, Crazy, like, they would take anything. You know what I'm saying? Like low budget, videos and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, we only did the higher end stuff.
Mm.
The stuff that was really gonna be national. Shit
Mhm.
that was gonna be national, like the presidential inauguration. The whole world got to see that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of shows that we did that, the city center honors, where we put
You guys got a chance to go to the White House. What was that like?
It's awesome. You want to hear something funny, bro? I wish I had it with me, bro. The invitation to the White House. I still have all that shit.
Mhm.
Yep. So somebody just mentioned Soul Train. So we did all the shows that people were watching back in the 70s. Soul
Okay.
Train, Merv Griffin show.
Mhm.
That was one of our first shows.
Mhm.
And it was
What
Phase
about Good
2
Morning
who got us.
America?
Good Morning America with Kathy Lee,
Mhm.
the movie Body Rock. We were in the movie Body Rock.
Yeah.
So we did that.
For that
We
for
did some.
that short part of the movie though, like what would the budget be like for you guys back then? Was that like a couple $100 just for that short part?
Yeah, it was a couple $1,000
Couple thousand
for that short part.
bucks. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It was no more than no less than $8,000.
Okay. It was just a one-time payment?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys didn't get residuals every time the movie was played?
No.
Okay.
We didn't even get anything from. I don't know how that happened with like Beach Street. Beach Street, they would play it every freaking holiday. Remember? Every
They still
Christmas
play it.
time. Yes.
They still play it.
Yep. So, I mean, of course, yeah, Harry Belafonte saw something and, he wanted
Mhm.
to. But, I mean, if he had did it, it was done good enough to where everybody liked it. But had he done it the way that it was really supposed to be, then people would be blown away.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. Because a lot of the stuff in the movie, like the graffiti, all that was downscaled. That wasn't even, the real graffiti, the real, freaking the Star Wars, like the burner pieces, the
Oh,
original.
yeah.
That wasn't nothing, man.
Mhm.
Style
I think that
Wars.
right. I think probably I remember I was just so young watching the theater, like looking at the screen, and I didn't know what to expect. But I remember the subway scene when it's like, yo, chill out, I hear something, and it goes back to cry.
Yep.
I remember looking at the screen, and I was just like, to me, we thought that was crazy. We went to
Okay,
school. We went to school, and
right.
we try to play that same scene out.
Okay. Now you want to hear something funny? Now that remember I spoke about that earlier in our interview
Hmm.
that we will see anybody anywhere and we'll battle them right there. That's battle cry. We saw them in the train station. We was battling with no music.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. If we was on Fordham Road, we was shopping for shoes, and we just happened to run into another breaker from another group, no, we was battling right there on this concrete.
That's how it was for us, though, too. To be honest with you, even though we were amateurish, but we were kind of like go into the city, and if we see you had a boom box, we will follow you.
Right,
We will
dude. And then,
follow you.
wait a minute. And it's funny because when we started, and dude, I was heavily into breaking when I was young. And we
Hmm.
started, dude, I used to ride a Mongoose, a BMX bicycle, bro. I traded my bicycle for a boombox. Okay? I traded my bicycle with this kid. He wanted a bike and I wanted a boombox. We traded
Mm.
so we can have this boombox so we could just put it on any corner and break and go off.
I remember asking my dad to get me one, and he kind of looked at me crazy, but he said, "I'm gonna put it in a layaway," and I got it. It was a double cassette one.
Dude, mine had one big giant like 10-inch woofer and then a little tweeter on the top. Old school
And then along
boombox.
with that radio, it came with 15 batteries, and they all had to be rechargeable.
We used to buy batteries, bro. Freaking 8D size batteries back in the day. Or
We had
6D size
to have,
batteries.
right. And the thing about it too, what we would do, we had one kid that was a designator ghetto blaster. He would hold the radio. He wouldn't even break. He would just carry the radio.
Yep. Well, you saw, it's funny because on Gladys Knight in the Pit video, now you see what I'm talking about?
Right.
Gladys Knight, clear video, saved the overtime. We had boom boxes. I had the biggest boom box.
Yeah.
All right. Then, we wanted boombox to do stuff like that. That's the way it was done. The graffiti on the linoleum.
Mm.
Yeah. Like I said, that was save the overtime. That was back in the days. So I mean, again, going back to I want to give a big shout out to Charlie Chase and the Co-Crush brothers because they had a big major role in hip hop.
Mm.
Okay, Charlie Chase is one of the founders. He was nasty, one of the Puerto Rican DJs. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
And it's funny because when it was only me and Chino breaking back in the old days, Charlie Chase used to throw jams in Decatur Avenue in the basement. They used to plug into a light pole.
Mm.
Okay? Similar like the Radiotron almost, but the Radiotron was it looked like a church to me. But it's funny, an abandoned building, they painted the whole basement, but we used to go in there, they used to paint the basement and everything. We used to plug into a light pole and run an extension cord into the building and have lights and DJ Charlie Chase used to battle another DJ, like he will battle against Jazzy J or somebody. They used to have old battles. They used to battle in DJing back in the old days. Okay? And that's where the music for the B-boys used to come into play.
I think if I lived back in those days and I seen those buildings that were burnt out, I ain't gonna lie, I think I would have went inside. I wouldn't have been scared because we used to do the same thing, not even thinking what could be inside there. There could be junkies inside there.
Yeah. No. Listen, we knew that Charlie Chase and some other DJs used to throw jams on a Friday night on Decatur Avenue in the abandoned building. So, bro, you have a line out the door. People trying to get in there.
It's cold.
And it was cold. And we used to rock on the concrete in the basement. we used to rock.
Oh
Now,
my God.
here's the funny thing, bro. Crazy Legs could vouch. He could vouch because he was there. He used to come. He was young. That's where bro, that's where it was at, right there. Back in the Decatur jams. Okay?
And it's cold in New York too.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know how you
And
guys did it though,
this
bro.
was funny, bro. I remember the time it was me and Chino, and Crazy Legs was supposed to show up, and I wanted to battle him in the worst way, bro. But he never showed up, anyways. And in the midst of the jam, bro, we got raided by the police. Okay, they took the DJ equipment. Everybody that was in there, everybody was trying to rush out and get away from the police, right? So me and Chino ran deeper into the basement where it was really dark, okay? And there was a little window. It was a concrete, like the cinder blocks. It was a little window. So I boosted Chino out of the window, and his sneaker fell off. He's lost his shoe, his Cortez Nike, right? So I grabbed it. I had it in my hand. So when he jumped out of the window, the cops snagged him, bro. They snagged Chino. This was funny as hell. So I was like, oh, shit. So I tried to run around the other side. I was trying to find my way out. I was like, man, maybe I should just go up to the second or third floor and wait till everything, cools down, which it did. So guys were, like the DJ got arrested. Only the main, like, DJ, like Charlie Chase, and I'm not sure if it was the Cocos brothers, but they got arrested. And the funny shit was, bro, that after the smoke cleared, bro, I walked out of there with the shoe, right? Chino, bro, he walked all the way home in the snow with one sock and one shoe, and on a sock. He said his feet was frozen, bro. I walked all the way home with the shoe, bro. And I was going, Chino. I'm trying to see if they arrested him. And he comes on the window. He was like, yo, they let me go. I was like, okay. He goes, but I lost my shoe. And I pulled it out of my leather bomber. I was like, no, you didn't. I got it. He was like, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? So I had his Cortez Nike in my shoe, in my hand, his shoe. And then he was like, yo, what happened? I said, yo, they arrested and took the DJ's equipment, bro. You got to pay fines. So I remember that day clearly, bro. It was DJ Charlie Chase. Okay, there was DJ Charlie Chase, there was Little Chase, and then Kid Capri and all the other guys came afterwards. But back then, there wasn't that many DJs. There was Grandmaster Flash, right? DJ Charlie Chase, Jazzy J,
Bambada.
Yep. Who was it? Kumar Ski. There was bro. There was a lot of Kumo D and them weren't even out yet.
And Grandmaster Cass.
Grandmaster Cass was down with the Cocos brothers. Yeah. Dude, that back in the day was, bro. That shit was lit. That was awesome, bro. I'm telling you, man. That's how, bro, hip hop started, man. That's how it all started, man. I give Kool Herc the props for, playing music in the park and stuff like that. And he says he started hip hop, which, yeah, he did in a way. But the jams, I'm gonna say the jams, bro. The jams was, crazy.
Thank you, Noel. I know we can go on and on.
Yeah,
I'm getting hungry. I know you got things to do.
It was a pleasure, man. It was a pleasure, man. Everybody who tuned in, man, I hope you got a good ear full, know your history.
They got at least about a good 2 hours of just like solid information.
Absolutely. Like I said, I mean, we go way back to the Kennedy jams, the Decatur jams. From the Decatur jams, they went into the high school jams and, got better, with the b-boying and all that, Mr. Freeze, he's a big part of it, man. Mr. Freeze. He was there since day one, too.
I remember everybody saying that, So, Noel, I just want to say thank you, brother. Like, I finally got this saved, and I'm happy that I can go to sleep and say, you know what? I know it's going to take a couple couple years for people to process this information
Yeah.
because the b-boy only really gets like 90s information.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like nobody
Yeah.
really goes back to like the early 70s, the original b-boys.
Yeah, dude. Like
That's
I said, I
that's
go way
in the
back.
b-boy world. That's in the b-boy world currently.
Yes.
You don't get that no more.
No.
Everybody just talks about the 90s, which I came up in
Oh,
that
the
era too, and I
90s
love
was
it.
insane. The 90s was insane because, it kind of got rebooted again. It was like a
Oh,
reboot,
I
you know?
loved it.
And that's
I
B-Boy
loved it.
London, Speedy. Our guys kept it going with the New York City Breaker name,
Yeah,
Nas was part of the New York City Breakers,
yeah.
you
The 90s was a
know?
dope era though. Like, I'm not gonna lie. When I seen Breaking come back again, I couldn't even believe it though, bro. I seen Crazy Legs in the picture, and on the picture it said, "Where do we go from here?" And it
Yep.
showed Fable. It showed Fable, Quick Step. I think a brother named Adethala, and they were doing like a theater show. It was a theater play.
Easy Rock. Wasn't Easy Rock like
No,
the original B-Boy?
this is before Easy Rock. So the name of the show was called "Where Do We Go From Here?" Then eventually it became Ghetto Original.
Right. Right.
And then after that, it became Jam on the Groove.
Right. Right. I
But
mean,
when I first seen it, it was called Where Do We Go From Here? So basically, they were doing a theater show, like explaining, like basically like a play, like where do we go from here?
right. I give Crazy Legs a lot of prop, bro, because, like I said, he had a job, He was working in LA
Yeah.
Fitness. Or I mean, Jack LaLanne. And, and then that's when we started bodybuilding, and then he went back in the 90s. He went back into it. So,
Yeah.
he kept it going. He kept it going. I got to give that man his props. Even though what happened with him, he's still a pioneer, and he still did what he did. And I guess going back into the 90s, that's when he screwed himself back up, or he did screw himself. But
Yeah.
back in the day was awesome, man. When, back in the old days was awesome, bro. We used to, oh, and bro, again, one quick part of this whole thing is Rocksteady, most of the original guys, and Crazy Legs and Ken Swift, they used to invite us because the owner of Carvel Ice Cream used to let them break inside the ice cream store. He probably, if he's
crazy.
listening, bro, he's probably laughing his ass off, bro, because they used to dance in Carvel, Frosty Freeze, Crazy Legs, Kippy D, Normski in Manhattan, 96th Street.
Okay.
And we used to go and hang out with them there and fucking go off on the Carvel floor, bro. Yep.
Thank you for sharing, well, brother. I'm gonna go
it.
home and I'm gonna go to bed like, oh man, like let me process this, because everything that you're telling me is before my time when I got into breaking. So it just kind of like it reminds me like Bible stories, like when you think about when you hear these stories about like Moses, went into the mountains and got the commandments, and then he came back, and then that's what it feels like.
Yeah, in a way, this is the Bible of breakdancing.
It is.
Because, it went in certain steps, from the concrete to the linoleums and the cardboards, of course, and the silver screens and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But it's funny because back then, man, it was awesome, bro. It was awesome. And
I loved
to
it.
run it. Yeah, and to run into another breaker and be like, oh, shit, yo, he's here. Oh, shit, the music's going to go on soon. And, yo, it's on.
It was everything to me, though, bro. I remember it was like the best time of my life. I had my little red windbreakers. I had my Pumas. Oh, let me show you my Pumas before we go. I haven't got a chance to show you these, though, bro, but these are, I know there's a lot of Puma fans out there. Charlie Rock.
Ah, yo, those shits is dope, bro. Those are dope. Bro, you can't find shit like that no more, man.
Nah.
Hell no. You gotta go.
Everybody, when they see these
outlet.
Pumas, right, when people see me on the street, though, bro, everybody stops.
Yo, I go to the outlets to find shit like that now, bro. Ellington out here in Florida. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a nice Puma collection though, bro. I just kind of keep it on the low because I'm not really I don't boast about what I got. If you see me on the street, then like you'll see it, but I try not to like flash my stuff because that's not my character.
That's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah,
Yo, let me tell you something, bro. Back then, bro, again, b-boying, breaking, the fashion, bro. It was all about the whole ensemble, bro. You had to have the,
yeah,
you had to, bro. We will scuff. Oh shit, that's original right there, bro. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Me and Chino, back in the old days, they didn't make Pumas with colors, bro. We used to spray paint our Pumas, bro.
yeah,
That was a part of hip hop too, bro.
yeah,
Yup, we used to
yeah. You're
fucking,
right.
yup. Oh,
Okay,
Charlie
I
Rock.
know
Yeah,
we didn't even get into that, but next time, I mean, we can always continue this though.
bro.
We should even, as long as you
Absolutely.
want to talk,
Stay in
so
touch. Stay in
right, as long as
touch.
you want to talk, I'm just we're just gonna keep putting the puzzle,
I'm willing to.
bro.
I'm willing. I'm willing. Listen, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy that I filled in a lot of pieces of the puzzle with Tiny,
Mm-hmm.
with the way it went down on the concrete. Because again, the Seven Deadly Sins, the original B-boys, Bronx boys, they call themselves original, and all that stuff. I mean, there were so many, rocking crews. They were called rocking crews, not breaking.
Right.
They were called rocking
Yeah.
crews, bro. Yup. And then
Okay.
again, like you talked about the sweatshirts with the old English letters and all that, bro.
And the name
That's my
change.
yup. The name chains. I had my name chain. The belt buckles, the whole 9 yards, bro, with your name on it.
That was everything. If you had a name chain and a nameplate belt
Yep.
and some Pumas and a bomber jacket, bro, you could go to school and literally the kids will follow you around
Dude,
school.
we had leather bombers and we had sheep skins.
Yeah.
Okay, back in the day, because it was cold. So we had leather bombers, gray, black, whatever. We had, bro, every color, fucking every color sheepskin. If you had one of each, bro, you were the man, bro, back then. You had to watch it with the stick-up kids, bro. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, yo, that kid got, he got some fly
They would
shit, bro.
get
We
you.
gotta stick
Yeah.
him up. You know
Yeah,
what
they
I'm
would
saying?
get you. Yeah, they would get you. They would get you out here too, bro.
Yup,
So I know
yup. They would
they
take your
got us out
sneakers.
here. They was getting you
Those
guys in
shoes
New
right
York.
there, bro, they would want, bro, they'll take your shoes, man. Back in the day.
I bet.
That's why I'm saying you had to be tough to live in the Bronx, bro.
Yeah.
They would take your shoes,
Okay.
bro.
Thank you, Noel, brother. Thank you. I
You're
wish you
welcome,
happy
bro.
holidays.
Happy
And
holidays and peace.
peace.
Peace out, my brother. We'll talk again.
Okay.
All right. We'll
All right.
have to do a part 3.
Exactly. 3, 4, 5. Just whenever you have the time.
You got
Because
it,
I know
bro.
there's more. I know there's more to the story, and I'm
Oh,
gonna do some more
bro.
research, and I'll bring up some more names, and we'll keep it going.
Yep, you got it, my friend. All right.
Okay.
All right, my
Peace.
brother. One love.